The family meeting was scheduled for 2 p.m. on Sunday at what Dad called the estate, the sprawling colonial mansion where he and Mom lived. Everyone was required to attend: me, my brother Tyler, my sister Jessica, plus their spouses and kids. Dad had sent a formal email with the subject line, "Important Family Business Discussion." I arrived early, parking my Tesla in the circular driveway. Through the front windows I could see Dad pacing in his study, papers spread across his mahogany desk. Mom was arranging chairs in the living room like this was a board meeting. Tyler's Range Rover pulled up, followed by Jessica's Mercedes SUV. Both vehicles were leased, I knew. Both were expensive. Both screamed success they hadn't actually achieved. "Sophie." Mom greeted me at the door with a tight hug. "I'm so glad you could make it. I know you're always so busy with your computer work." Computer work. My software engineering consulting firm that generated $800,000 annually. But to them I was still just doing something with computers. We gathered in the living room. Tyler sprawled in the leather armchair like he owned it. Jessica perched on the sofa, her husband Brad beside her looking uncomfortable. Their kids had been sent to the playroom upstairs. Dad stood by the fireplace, hands clasped behind his back. He loved this pose, the patriarch delivering important news. "Thank you all for coming," he began. "Your mother and I have been doing some estate planning and we need to discuss family assets." I sipped my water and waited. As you know, our family has been blessed with several properties over the years. This house, Tyler's place on Riverside, Jessica's townhouse downtown, Sophie's little condo, the lake cabin, and a few rental properties. Little condo. My 2,400 square foot penthouse in the most expensive building in the city. But sure little. "Your mother and I are getting older," Dad continued. "We need to start thinking about succession. About making sure these properties serve the family's needs." Tyler leaned forward, interested now. Jessica's eyes gleamed. "We've decided," Dad said, pulling out a folder, "to redistribute the family properties to better match everyone's current situations." Here it comes, I thought. "Tyler, you and Amanda have 4 children. Your current house is too small. You'll be moving into this estate. It has 6 bedrooms, plenty of space for your growing family." Tyler's face lit up. Well, thank you. "Jessica, you and Brad need more space for your business ventures. You'll be taking Sophie's penthouse downtown. It's much better suited for the entertaining you do." My penthouse. My property. The one I'd purchased 4 years ago for $1.2 million. Jessica actually clapped her hands. "Oh my God, Dad. That place is gorgeous. Sophie, you won't mind, right? You're never there anyway with all your traveling." All eyes turned to me. I set down my water glass carefully. "Where will I be living?" I asked calmly. "We've thought about that," Mom jumped in. "You can have the apartment above the garage here. It's cozy and you're always saying you want something low maintenance." The garage apartment. 600 square feet. No view. Originally designed for a live-in housekeeper. "And what about my current place?" I asked. "Jessica needs it more," Dad said firmly. "She's building a business, networking with important people. You're just working remotely. You can do that from anywhere." Tyler was already on his phone, probably texting Amanda about the mansion. Jessica was making notes, likely planning her redecorating. "What about the rental properties?" I asked. "Those will be divided between Tyler and Jessica to manage. They need the passive income for their families. You're doing fine on your own." I nodded slowly. "And you've already made these decisions. This isn't a discussion, it's an announcement." "We're your parents," Dad said. "We know what's best for the family as a whole. Sometimes that means individual sacrifice for the greater good." "Individual sacrifice," I repeated. Interesting way to phrase taking my home. "It's not your home, Sophie," Mom said gently. "It's family property. Your grandmother's trust provided the down payment years ago. That makes it family property." I pulled out my phone and opened a specific folder. One I'd been preparing for exactly this moment. "Dad, do you remember what happened 8 years ago? The market crash." His face tightened. "That's ancient history. Your real estate investments collapsed. You were overleveraged, drowning in debt, facing foreclosure on everything. This mansion, Tyler's house, Jessica's townhouse, the lake cabin, all the rental properties. The bank was taking all of it. We went through a rough patch, Dad said stiffly. We recovered. No, you didn't recover. I recovered you. I stood up, phone in hand. I was 26 years old. I just sold my first startup for $4.5 million. You came to me desperate, begging for help. Do you remember what you said? Silence. You said, Sophie, you're good with money. Help us figure this out. So I did. I bought everything. All of it. Every single property you were about to lose. Tyler sat up straight. What are you talking about? 8 years ago, I purchased this mansion, Tyler's house, Jessica's townhouse, the lake cabin, and all 6 rental properties. I paid off Dad's debts, cleared the mortgages, and saved the family from complete financial ruin. Jessica's face had gone pale. That's not possible. We own our houses. No, you don't. You live in my houses. Rent-free. All of you. For 8 years. I pulled up documents on my phone. Every property is owned by Clearview Holdings LLC. That's my company. My name is on every deed. Dad's face had turned red. You said you'd help us. You didn't say you were buying everything. You assumed I'd loan you money. I actually said I'd handle it. I handled it by becoming your landlord. This is ridiculous, Tyler said, standing. Even if that's technically true, these are family properties. You can't just claim them. I'm not claiming anything. I already own them. Have for 8 years. I've paid every property tax bill, every insurance premium, every repair and maintenance cost. Out of my pocket. While you all lived rent-free and told people you owned these places. Mom's voice shook. Why would you deceive us like this? I didn't deceive anyone. I saved you from bankruptcy. And I never told you because, I gestured around the room, because of exactly this. The moment you knew I had money, it would become family money. My success would become something you were entitled to. We're your family. Jessica shrieked. You're supposed to share with us. I have been sharing. For 8 years. Free housing for everyone. But sharing isn't enough for you. You want to take my penthouse, give me a garage apartment, and act like you're doing me a favor. Dad tried to regain control. Now, Sophie, let's not be hasty. Even if what you're saying is true, we can work this out as a family. We're past that, Dad. I opened another folder on my phone. See, I knew this was coming. Mom mentioned estate planning to Tyler 3 months ago. Tyler told Jessica. Jessica told her realtor friend she'd be moving soon. Word gets around. Tyler's face showed I was right. So I prepared. I pulled up a document and turned my phone to show them. These are eviction notices for all family members currently occupying my properties without valid lease agreements. That's this mansion, Tyler's house, Jessica's townhouse, the lake cabin, and 3 rental properties where extended family members live. You can't evict your own family. Mom gasped. Watch me. You're all receiving formal notices this week. 30 days to vacate. Where are we supposed to go? Tyler demanded. That's not my problem. You're adults. Figure it out. Jessica started crying. We have kids. You'd make your nieces and nephews homeless. You're making them homeless by assuming you could take my property. I'm just enforcing consequences. The room exploded. Tyler shouting about betrayal. Jessica sobbing. Mom begging. Dad threatening legal action. Brad sat frozen, probably realizing his entire lifestyle was built on a foundation that was crumbling. I stood and headed for the door. Sophie. Dad's voice boomed. If you walk out that door, you're not part of this family anymore. I turned back. Dad, you just tried to give away my house and stick me in a garage apartment. I haven't been part of this family for a long time. I've been the ATM. The eviction notices were served on Tuesday. My attorney, Marcus Chin, handled everything personally, delivering each notice with a police officer present as witness. The phone calls started immediately. Angry calls from Tyler. Desperate voicemails from Mom. Even my Uncle Frank called. He'd been living rent-free in one of my rental properties for 4 years and had just been served his eviction notice. I blocked most of them and forwarded the rest to Marcus. Your family is threatening to sue, Marcus told me over lunch. They're claiming elder abuse, fraud, and something called family property rights that doesn't actually exist in law. Let them sue. I have every document, every deed, every payment record. It's all clean. They're also telling people you're stealing from them. Your sister posted on Facebook that you're evicting your elderly parents from their home. I pulled out my phone and looked at Jessica's post. There I was, painted as the villain. Cold-hearted daughter throwing her family onto the streets. The comments were vicious. Cousins I hadn't spoken to in years calling me greedy. Family friends expressing shock. Let them talk, I said. The truth will come out. And it did 3 days later when Tyler tried to refinance his house and discovered he wasn't on the deed. The bank officer, confused, had pulled the property records. Tyler's mortgage broker called him with the news. Sir, you don't own this property. Clearview Holdings LLC does. Have you been renting? Tyler's furious call to me was almost amusing. The bank says I don't own my house. They're saying some company owns it. What did you do? I told you at the family meeting. I own that house. I've owned it for 8 years. This is identity theft. Fraud. I'm calling the police. Go ahead. Explain to them how you've been living rent-free in someone else's property for 8 years while telling everyone you own it. I'm sure they'll be very sympathetic. He hung up. The real explosion came when Dad tried to get a home equity line of credit on his mansion. The bank pulled the deed and found the same thing. Clearview Holdings LLC owner, Sophie Morrison. Dad showed up at my office downtown, security calling up to warn me. Let him come, I said. He burst into my office red-faced and furious. You forged documents. You stole our house. I have every bank statement, every closing document, every payment record from 8 years ago. Your signature is on the documents selling me the properties. You want to see them? I pulled up my file server and turned my monitor toward him. Folder after folder of legal documents, all properly executed, all with his signature. His face went from red to white as he scrolled through. You actually bought everything? Yes. We had no idea. You never asked. You assumed. Just like you assumed you could give away my penthouse and stick me in a garage apartment. He sank into a chair. What do you want, Sophie? Money? We don't have any. I know you don't. You've been living beyond your means for years, pretending the houses were yours, taking out credit cards and personal loans against future income you'll never have. I pulled up another document. Tyler owes $85,000 in credit card debt. Jessica's business has lost money for 3 straight years. You and Mom have $170,000 in personal loans. I know everything. How? Because I'm not stupid, Dad. I'm the one who bailed you out 8 years ago. Did you really think I wouldn't keep track? So what now? You throw us all out and laugh while we struggle? No. I enforce boundaries you should have respected. I pulled out a new folder. Here's what's going to happen. You have 30 days to vacate the mansion. Tyler has 30 days to vacate his house. Jessica has 30 days to vacate her townhouse. Everyone living in my rental properties has 30 days. We'll be homeless. You'll be adults facing the consequences of your assumptions. But I'm not heartless. I slid papers across my desk. These are lease agreements. Market rate for each property. If you can afford it, you can stay as legitimate tenants. First month, last month, security deposit, standard terms. Miss one payment and eviction proceeds immediately. Dad looked at the paper listing market rates. The mansion is $8,500 a month? We can't afford that. Then you downsize. Find something you can afford. Welcome to reality, Dad. This is cruel. No, what's cruel is spending 8 years living rent-free in my properties, then trying to take more without asking. What's cruel is calling my work, computer stuff, while I was generating 6 figures annually. What's cruel is treating me like I was less important than Tyler and Jessica, then expecting me to subsidize everyone forever. He sat in silence, the lease agreement in his hands. I built an empire, Dad. 12 properties. $3 million in equity. A consulting business that spans 5 countries. I did all of that while quietly supporting every member of this family. I leaned forward. And you thanked me by trying to give away my penthouse. We didn't know. You didn't care to know. There's a difference. The 30 days passed. Dad and Mom signed a lease for a 3-bedroom house I owned in a different neighborhood. $2,800 a month, which stretched their retirement income. Tyler and Amanda had to downsize dramatically to a rental they could actually afford, not one of mine. Jessica moved in with Brad's parents, her ego crushed. Uncle Frank found a studio apartment. The other extended family members scattered to places within their actual budgets. My properties were re-rented within weeks. Professional tenants, background checked, properly screened. People who paid on time and took care of what they rented. 3 months later, Tyler showed up at my office. No appointment, but security called up and I agreed to see him. He looked different. Thinner. Tired. But also more present somehow. "I'm not here to ask for anything," he said immediately. "I just wanted to say, I get it now." I waited. Amanda and I are in a 2-bedroom apartment. The kids share rooms. We sold the Range Rover and bought a used Honda. We're on a budget for the first time in our lives. He laughed bitterly. "It's humiliating. But it's also real. We're not pretending anymore." "That's good, Tyler. I didn't know you owned everything. But I should have known something was off. The property taxes alone on that house should have been $15,000 a year. I never paid them. Never even saw a bill. I never questioned it because I didn't want to know. Willful ignorance." "Yeah." He looked at me directly. "I'm sorry. For assuming. For thinking you owed us something. For going along with Dad's plan to take your penthouse. You built something real and we treated it like it was ours to distribute. It was the most honest conversation we'd ever had. Thank you for saying that." "Are you happy?" he asked. "Now that we're all out?" I considered the question. "I'm not happy you're struggling. But I'm at peace. I enforced boundaries I should have set years ago. I'm done being the family bank." He nodded. "For what it's worth, Amanda says you did the right thing. She's the one who made me come here. Tell her thank you." After he left, I looked out my office window at the city skyline. Somewhere out there were my 12 properties, all properly managed, all generating income, all legally protected. Dad called that evening. "Your mother wants to invite you to dinner. At our rental house." "I don't think that's a good idea yet. She's not asking for money. She just misses you." I felt something crack in my chest. "I miss her too. But Dad, I need you to understand something. I'm not coming back to the way things were. Where my success is dismissed and my property is considered family assets." "I know. I'm learning that." He paused. "The lease payment is due next week. We'll have it on time." "Good. Sophie, you built something incredible. I'm sorry I didn't see it. I'm sorry I didn't celebrate it. I'm sorry I tried to take it." My throat tightened. "Thanks, Dad. Maybe in a few months we could have that dinner? After we've proven we can respect your boundaries. Maybe. Let's see how it goes." 6 months later, I sat in my penthouse. My penthouse, still mine, never given away, and reviewed my property portfolio. 14 properties now. I'd bought 2 more with the rental income from the others. Mom and Dad paid their rent on time every month. Tyler and Amanda were rebuilding their finances slowly, painfully, but genuinely. Jessica had gotten a real job. Corporate, steady with benefits. The family was learning to stand on their own. And I was learning that boundaries weren't cruel. They were necessary. My empire stood solid. Built by me, owned by me, protected by me. And finally respected.